This is Ibrahim Osonko once again. Ning Bubacarr Sidiqi Jammeh alialon ya amanke mo nun in the Gambia mo UDP and council become area council fanang. Makachada la dami fana walam. Man sa numbake for the last few days, and I've been really sick. You can also see it on my voice. So obviously we're going to try to have the conversation, but I'm glad, I'm thankful that I'm able to be here to have the conversation with Bubacarr too. And Bubacarr, thank you for also accepting to come on purunga singa kacha kula miyalong ka den Gambia, especially with the ongoing voter registration mekakan. But it's good to see you. Molko, you are back on the show. Koyoko, what do you mean he's back? He's always here anyway. We fight, we argue, and then we come back.
I boycotted. Yeah, they boycotted. They boycotted.
You can't boycott
Yalla
black.
fa
You can't boycott black. Boycott don't solve anything.
Oh, you solve a lot of stuff. Dunia aja. Saya nyaman kilo ke meja.
But how have you been? How are you doing?
Gambia, baru. Kayak baru bambalo.
Yeah.
Up and down, busy. Taman ninja I was in the suburb a little bit close to. I feel like Barbarola. But alhamdulillah, it's good to go and see sometimes and refresh and come back.
Yeah.
I forget about kada. You Yeah.
I know.
Every
You
time
all
you step out, you come back.
I know.
Yeah.
But you guys, you're making headlines again. For I'm not sure it's for the right reasons, but you guys are making headlines again from Brikama Area Council, specifically when it comes to the market. So maybe we can start the check-in from there. Really, very briefly, what is that about? Nga VM Jala, he made a post about Brikama Area Council and the state of the fish market.
I don't like to. If you look at me, I don't like to go in, with journalists a lot. I try to avoid journalists as much as possible. This media, from quoting, to have, to give them the leeway to do whatever, express their opinions as they will. Sometimes I can dig it, you can't ignore something. But for the most part, I try to restrain myself. I hardly go after journalists or media personalities that much. Even when the whole boycott thing was happening with FAD, I was never part of it. It's not my thing. But and I don't like going after. But we need to do better. You understand? This become a market thing was addressed. It's like our first month. We got sworn in June, right? June 1st of 2023. Almost 2-3 weeks there in some IC. That was the first issue that the BAC addressed and spent money on the chairman Youngs. That's when we didn't have a septic tank, we have no equipment, we have no sabarwajana, nothing. We were just making a council with only one truck. A Mali truck, that's it. Which was BI Tama, Samana Tama. That's it. But that area warranted the council to hire 2 septic tanks that were basically stationed because that's how serious that thing was, that area was, So it was always and we never shy away, Yankuba and BAC. We don't shy away from this kind of stuff. We confront him. So if we are doing all that as journalists, that you are living in the same Brikama, you've seen all of this, unless you are lazy and you're just a simple sensationalist with no knowledge and there's very little intellectual capacity to even be part of this profession. Because if you're not lazy, you're living in Brikama, you're on social media, you've seen us attacking these things. That's the day that you really should have interest and know what are we doing, what is the origin of this matter. But it's not a thing that just showed up on the Yankuba. This has been happening since, over 10 plus 15 years, and it was ignored. It's just now that we live in the social media world now, because nobody's gonna show this, right? You show it the next day, you are gone.
I know, it's funny. My Napabi used to own a shop in Brikama Market. I think he still does, even though I'm very familiar with the history of that market.
Yes, exactly. So we, it has always been our concern. We don't have to sensationalize it or make it like, okay, and Al Nigeria, what. No, because it's an embarrassing, blemish on the whole Brikama market thing. We know it. So Amangeri what in Fokang and always bragging about it. But on the ground, it has always been a concern. Like I said, it was the first expenditure of this Yankuba Diapers administration in June of 23. Barely a week, we attacked that place. And I can't move in Yala. Therefore, I had a video that I was actually present
Yeah,
while the
I
septic
remember
tank
that.
was. Yeah. So
Mhm.
all of this, we didn't complain. We didn't say, oh, we came, the previous administration, blah, blah, blah. No, we just went to. But at the same time, we also let the public know the reality, the history behind that place, and what are the facts when it comes to that market. Sorry, that fish market. The same thing that happens with the occasionally you will say, oh, you see what's a Gambia post a big dump of stuff at park. Oh, cancel. No, the car park doesn't belong to us. Gambian as a people, we have a lot of learning to do. We are a very lazy people. I'm sorry to say this. Mbuka karam. Me banko kanjang wala na masaka fi andola. Nyaja masina ka du Gambian mom pare karola. The simple basic things ke baba ko sangi tanda ne fe. Atara bankande bankola simple basic tenets they can't really understand it. It's really sad. So ito ko ibole to bolo governor ika batale. Kapa kabiring ya jamano mama sankoro yo bondi council kotole. Is given to the Ministry of Transportation on the NRA, whatever they got going on. What they collect, it goes to NRA. Then at the end of the year, they collect something and they give to our council adult. Same thing with Kenyabian Bank Bio. If you see the sand mining happening there, you see Boka Jawara, I mean, you blame all council. It's not us. It was also taken away from us. Because I cancel I fundi I kemundi waldi I doya to a point melanco. They are just basically glorified AI companies just sitting there, collecting a little bit like a APRC balunda like a AI company on for like a salary look just like when they came to KMS and BAC when they did a forensic audits, they found that there are hundreds and hundreds of people now militants or party militants all Karoka salary KMC and Indian. Before Talib was sworn in, Bakari Jammeh was there. Remember 2017, 2018? That time,
Yeah.
you have like a 3-month break before another. Yeah, so they had an interim. Bakari Jammeh went and found 340 something ghost workers. Party militants. This was a council in Jammeh's mentality. Not as a council that's responsible for people, responsible for delivering delivering the goods to the people because they are easiest, they are the closest to the people. Central government, they don't know what's happening in Beredikokon. You understand? But we know. They don't know what's happening in Penyan. We know. You understand? Block. So all of these things, so we should be empowered. But that was not the way elections used to work in those days. So for the longest, people don't even know that these are not our responsibilities. The billboards, you see all those billboards you see on you would think they should be part of us. Okay, you're from Bodin Kota, you're from the NRA. It's all happening at Gambia. Yeah, was secreting Gambia, petting. People have no idea. It's fearful, but I miracle. These things were happening while governments were sleeping, and they're still within the book. Came, reforms will start a few things like, and then everything went back to normal. So, Kenya geology, better bio, abekaran, ya burning court. Okay? Garasol, ya burning court. But saying Garasol, who's gonna go clean it? Wasan Gambia
At all.
Kurje, yen nem follow, ya yen neng, ngamburi ngara clean. Fisabilillah. We use our fuel, we use our trucks, we use our manpower for zero, for nothing. For somebody's job, some useless minister sitting there, transportation, whatever they get themselves, in a casa. Yeah, reta manakunula, adi kansulla, al kalante abula, kuri abula, banko bukata tapelani faniate. You cannot do it. Let council do it. Give it to us. Amurin come back. Ya jame abusimbul. It is civilized. Ya amurin toma. Ya bondi kapa kudo. Let's handle it. Build nice canteens, nice rest areas. become a Kapa, because who's going to do the investment? Minister of Ibrahim Wasila. That guy doesn't even know that car park is existing. Okay, meaning car park car park it should be under us. You're on top of your Samba. Can you be your Samba? You know, yeah, the NRL.
So come to so fish market that will say Minkenoje at this point. Oh, it's only
fish market la problem is a fundamental mistake.
We will let internet or break and the malo for mobile flan be able to know some use no but malo.
Sorry.
Okay, now we see you clearly. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So fish market when Japan being donate lala, Japan government le Gambia swala to basically to enhance by putting markets where people can sell their fish. Now be mambang of fish tolilo. You understand? You can preserve it, and then the morning so that it gives provides another opportunity for a lot of people to make good livelihoods, and and it become being a massive market for a whole region. Obviously, it should be there. Maybe the location could have been different. They could have chosen a different location. But the promise that the Japanese people in Sammarang, what they promised the people, because the sewage, the raw sewage that can produce, it cannot go in the gutter sing. Those gutters are for rainwater, not for raw sewage. Raw sewage need to be treated in a different way. So what I heard is that facility was provided for. They were going to create a waste treatment facility within there. It's similar to that. It's like Dadikamarek, basically. How do you treat it? It was supposed to be embedded within. But here Gambia Japan manna yo hajola, knowing we're gonna live with this kind of hazard. No. They did plan for it, but it was never basically fully implemented to have a waste treatment facility, waste in Tridla. Then I evacuate. Because there's no evacuation point. You understand? So this was what the Ministry of Fisheries implement in Brikama market. They have their own management, market manager, whatever independent of the Brikama market management. Completely. They're answerable to who? Not chairman. Because if they were answerable to chairman, would have just called them, hey, Mr. Soko, we can't. We don't even know what they're doing. The money they collect from there, somebody on that film, that idiot, sorry, some lady was saying, double tax, which is a complete lie. We don't collect a butut from that fish market inside there, no. The surrounding people that are selling outside of the fish market, they belong to our market. So if it is not on the side of the fish market, you think you are part of the fish market. You are not. Yes, the hazard of the fish market is affecting you because the fish market people that are responsible are not doing what they have to do. And the ministry that should have taken care of this sewage problem at the root from the beginning, from the you couldn't spend just like any other project in this country. If I put in someone and Gambia do see bet 2-3 years I back to problem. You never Gambia Corobella. It had a project. You go on this road, someone that you can abandon. Project Sifa Babe, all kinds of number place. Giraffe Bejana, Rice Bejana, Nana Bejana, all this kind of roots project, millions and small ruminant, millions and millions of projects. It is for there's a project for them. Oyster, Funko Jana, in project for them. Women Funko climate, Funko climate, whatever, resilience, I mean a project of millions and millions of dollars. You know, for Sangitang. They are hopping from one project to another project. If we put in accountability, isn't nobody going getting held accountable for, if I give you $25 million for a small ruminant project. There's a project called Small Ruminant Sajil and in Bal. Because Gambian are spending too much money in Mali and customers in Tobaski times, putting pressure on the Gambian dalasi, changing dalasi to safer and Batanika and Kosai, to Kumbo to Abolia. In Africa, we give you $25 million. You start a small ruminant program. B is over 5-7 years of project over carry. You cannot name me one Gambian farmer, Saji farmer, man, Saji will kill Babu, Saji 1,000. Maybe this might sound like a big deal. I can show you one Mali boy that intensify or intensify. Saji will some of Saji will nani Babu. It's like Malia, and they have barely have rain. You go to Mauritania, Mauritania have 35 million heads. I was just like 3 weeks ago. 1 month ago. I was in Mauritania. I have 35 million heads of livestock. 35 million. A desert. 35 million heads of small ruminants. Population of 5 million people. Gambian told Sama Bijang, Nyamo Bijang, they gave us $25 million to start a small ruminant project to help Gambian farmers like Dijalo Nyojana. Go to Dijalo. Every time I can YouTube. Sajala Babu. Man, I came off last year. That's the biggest. So, this is how Gambia works. If you don't come a locust, very bad people here. You see, so fish here is like a classic example of that. The machines to treat those waste materials and invest in that, the ministry plus the management economic spend there, because every time there's a storage. So there's money being made, but we are not seeing that money. But before I was gonna go there, nanying problem na salfana salad naka jumo kala salama fat ntara jana Tanji. Normally I should have been at fish market. I would have get a video and show you. Twice in Karajala, 70 tanks twice. Who can afford that? Can twice a day? That you don't know how much that thing costs. Even for something that they can charge me. Put in a twice sometimes a day. But you go to falls in Yaming, sometimes they can suck it. Because if I can find a Friday, me and sometimes journey if I quit and Yama. But can't come or command. So we're doing all this for who is paying for this? You, the taxpayer, is paying for it. And who's collecting the money who's collecting the money at the fish market? The ministry. Who is ministry giving the money to?
Yeah.
Not the fish market.
So I mean, Kekang, in a sense, what you're saying is you are exercising to the extent of the capacity. So because you're not doing anything, I'll say no, I'll bowl Kekanje because it's beyond the jurisdiction of Brikama area council.
And pro bono.
Pro bono, okay.
Very key. Nobody is giving us money for it. That's very, very unfair. If you don't, Barako Mano, it will see the Ministry of Fisheries, Musa Dra, whatever, permanent. Al Barako Mano, can I shut down for Lumina Kurosota? Don't put our lives at risk. So you say you put the pressure on me, and then I make Dogodaga every day, make killing and make killing the Kurosota. Ilakodo, Kabula Poso on Fisheries. I cannot tell you that. But as far as we are concerned, we are doing this for free. No dokula kataje asunka be mfalaje barabe mfalaje na fata nkaranka bukabo na mfana. It's called tamana ntola tamu je fanante. Nyikara kasa kuna jana. See, there's an area. So fish there's a farm dokala fala for ya diga te ya manyeto. But we have to take all this fuel. We bought 40,000 liters 2020. So every day we take about 30,000 liters of septic waste. I do it. Go through Jambar Sane. No, can't do that. So it has to be treated in a special way. You understand? There's a people, an organization, they wanted to do it, but I think it costed about, I think $4 billion. Because normally it should be close to a bar, fish market. So the closest bar, eko kembuje la mala minto la ngabolto.
Kembuje bar.
Yeah, so apo nyanta bolor fish market. I have video cost. I think one
That's
youngster
too
was
far.
telling me it's billion for 14 or 4 billion. I mean for something like 14 or 40 billion
O
plus
jam for calling it and dolkata nun kembuje bar you know, for a
century.
lot of things. Yeah,
So
it's too far.
ideally, yes, from Brigam. So
Mm-hmm.
ideally, the permanent secretary or the so-called technocrats who signed this contract, who thought this was a good idea, will be kidding be value in a master's degree. Well, you fali yake mole, you bagaso la ni mole ja. Sabe bulletin, we cannot do anything. So today I was so frustrated in council. What I told them was, let's put a legal fight. Let's sue the Ministry of Fisheries, put a court injunction in the interim before the lawsuit goes through. Put a court injunction to temporarily shut down the fish market until the ministry can figure out a place to go. But when I said it, other people commented, chairman and other people go, when you are depriving the whole West Coast of a place to sell fish. Fish will be basically the country will go, the region will go hungry because there's no more place where you can put your fish. You have to bring fish today, sell it today, why? Because that's where
Can Brikama Area Council, with the resources it has, can it figure out an alternative market? Because I've always believed market, there's part of it that can stay, but there are critical aspects of that market that needs to be moved, Wagar. And I've always believed, because I've spent so
well,
much time growing up in that market.
yeah. The market currently, the plan that we have, it's not so much to move it, but modernizing it. See that space you see that shanty corrugated wajana pam in its investment. Bulldoze, be rato, be clean, and you build nice modern markets like you find in Cape Verde, even Guinea-Bissau, some other
Like
places.
a
You go
mall.
there,
Yeah.
clean, yeah, like a sort of a mall, but still have our vibe, our market vibe. Vegetable areas, electronics, clothes, fish, meat, seafood, and then have a management system that is entirely making sure that market is up to date, is up to standard, and is hygienic, getting clean, basically, sanitize every night, and that kind of system. So that you need a lot of investment, and mostly what we're looking at is PPPs, public-private partnerships. We've already made that clear to the government. Because last year they asked us to put a list of all the potential public-private partnerships we would like to get into, so you can put in their government database instead of in case an investor comes along and they want to look at the opportunities in Brikama, they can just see exactly Masekar is here, and we can go into PPP. Let's say you bring your $200-300 million or $400 million, it depends, and build like 1,000 stores. Then we share revenue. Maybe 70-30, or 28-25. It depends on how soon the investor wants to recoup his money. So we are looking at these things, and we've opened it up. We're talking to a few, preferably Gambian businesses, even though they're really slow. And getting a lot of foreign, Chinese and Arabian investors that are interested. I'm just more of a, I wouldn't call myself a nationalist when it comes to business and investment, but I prefer a company like Yona or Supersonic, or
You
Sony
mentioning that
Transfer,
name.
Yeah. I would rather have those kind of companies come along and Gambianize it. The money stays here, the profits stay here, the jobs stay here, and we know it's ours for 30-40 years. You know what I mean? So those things are, I think that's
Yeah.
the because if a country alone to save that kind of money too, because these are large projects, you're looking at minimum at least $200-300 million. So to put that together and then bulldoze that. So in New York, you have to maybe for a period of 1 or 2 years have a makeshift temporary market. Imagine veterinary, that big land of veterinary behind that's an option that we can look at, and then you're working it temporarily for 1 or 2 years while the investors build this new. So that's the vision. Even Coastal Road Market for now is a potential for that kind of investment. that we're looking at, and Tanji market also. Tanji needs to be bulldozed. That place is horrible. But
Yeah.
this is all money. They require a lot of investment, and the smart way to go about it is public-private partnerships. So in that
Okay.
case, this fish
Mhm.
market definitely would be taken care of, and then
Resolve.
maybe amalgamated or now basically made part of the Brickamere Council Market Committee. So we have a direct say now what happens there. If it's not the right place, we can find a solution, because definitely it needs an outlet that goes to a river. Without that, it's extremely difficult and expensive to be every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the
So
reality
yeah.
behind that place. So unfortunately, we just have to keep doing what we have to do right now with what we have, and the public will cry. There will be a lot of misinformation. There will be a lot of finger pointing, BAC, blah. But the more we educate the people that this is not our responsibility, we are actually helping out. We are concerned, and we are doing our best to help pro bono using taxpayers' money. A useless ministry in Banjul should have been doing, and then we need to actually push back on and let people
Yeah.
know, because not lack of information can because I've seen the comments. That's why I didn't imagine
Yeah.
I just kind of let it go, let people have their day, let them get frustrated, let them get angry. I get calls from all over the place. Look, explain it. Youngs came out and explain it. I also have this opportunity, maybe another opportunity to keep saying it. We've been saying it for the past 3 years, but unfortunately, we live in a country where a lot of people are hungry and tired and frustrated. Nobody's thinking a lot. EFM for can within a couple of days. So it is part of the game. So I'm
Yeah.
not bothered about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
I
think
hope
it's
the viewers
important.
are hearing me properly.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, ila camera man tara fenkerin back. So malong for some reason, but we can hear you very. I think I can hear you loud and clear. Hopefully, the audience can let us know as well. Ha.
Mm,
Ila video
I
keep
mean,
glitching.
I'm sick.
Huh.
Okay, it keep glitchy.
Yeah,
Let me go to Wi-Fi. Let me go. Let me transfer the data.
yeah. I think that's what they should have done way earlier. Gambian Wi-Fi can do call on what.
Okay.
Yes, that's
So
better. So,
how
in
about
fact,
now?
that's
Yeah.
yes a
So now
bigger
I'm
part
using
of our conversation.
yeah, I'm using official now, data.
Okay,
So
good. Officer, if
you
you
need to
guys
send
are if you
you
guys
need
are
to send me
listening, you guys should
send me
sponsor this episode and send worker credit.
exactly.
Officer, if you guys are listening, hey, Supersonic there on the comments. Suleiman, send. You want me to talk about Supersonic as my primary sponsor? Send worker credit right now.
So
Suleiman in
I can't be
Canada.
naming names.
Yeah, no, he actually like because he's been met. We've been figuring out the partnership. So we've been in the. I mean,
Ah,
there's a plan in the offing, but you mentioned his name. I'm just gonna say it. Part of the plan now is send worker credit because worker has mentioned your name, Supersonic money transfer here, and so that's what you get for getting free advertisement here today. But Bua, thank you for breaking that down for us. For those of you who are just joining us, Bubacarr Sidiqi Jammeh, and we just spent some time for him to explain to us the state of Brikama Fish Market. And I think he did a brilliant job to delineate the separation of roles between Brikama Area Council and the central government. Now, Brikama Area Council, for a while, okay, Walker, go ahead, have been
oh,
the ones that have been
I'm full of
pro bono, pro bono.
iPhone. Okay, sorry.
Well, I think your phone is good, actually.
No. Definitely check that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Brikama Area Council have been pro
Mhm.
bono, holding the fort down and cleaning the fish market,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the fish market has been under the jurisdiction of the Gambia government. Milialanko, according to him, has not been doing it. But again, I think it's important if people want to understand to learn more about this instead of just sensationalizing the story or just jumping off what you see online, because I think that way we're not just doing the service to the people who are doing the job at least they're trying to make a difference when we're just conveniently sitting back and criticizing. I think we should know the details of all of it. But we're going to move on to the most important and perhaps the most controversial issue, on why I asked Walker to come on today, which is the supplementary voter registration that is going on in the Gambia. Um, Buba, I mean, I think this is breaking news. You made a post about it that you Gambian know if you make a post like that, it goes viral very quick. And since you made the post about it, I think all media houses pick up the story. Influential people in the Gambia also pick up the story. So I want us to go through that. So the Independent Electoral Commission opened a 44-day nationwide voter registration that started on the 8th of April and it's going to go all the way to May. And generally in the Gambia, registration process kakanyameng, obviously near birth certificate, soto wala national ID, government passport, wala alkalo attestation, is a register no. But nga jela fananko recently with the Njegen alkalo stamp issue, how that has also attracted attention. Yes, Njegen, exactly. So there's a lot of conversations about the credibility of elections and not elections in per se, but the registration process as we approach the December elections. But let's begin from there. What was that about today in Tanji? And how have you guys come to make the decision that look, with this year we are going to make a collective executive decision to ensure that we in all the sports where this is happening to make sure the election is free. I mean, the registration is devoid of any interference whatsoever.
No, Yalong, like in anything with life, you go through, events and you learn from them. That is part of humanity. That is part of being smart. Okay. UDP, this is not the first time we've been telling this to Gambians. And it became sort of a cliche now, right? Like, oh yeah, the new side. Okay, and some people think it's just a mere excuse. Oh yeah, every time guy lose election, they say, oh, the new side. If they win, they say no, it's fine. No, that's not the case. I believe in one thing, which is when it comes to elections or electing our president who leads us, this is a very, very significant event in our lives because it's one day that will determine how basically your life is going to be for the next 5 years. And this is not a cliche, it's not just some words, it's real.
Well, I found the money count that way.
Yo, I'm okay, yo,
Please.
yo. So
Don't blame me. I'm terrible at the switch, but audience always remind me. So please go ahead. I found the money count.
So yeah, comme UDP mera ñing denkila molyen wati ba fola kabirin 19 jolu ba ni nga fola mo kamera ñine be ela kenyo le ida ñakil wala ñe bu sabi iko ye bodi suñale nga ba election mo ko suñano no election day, yes, you can't really do much, even though yes you can do certain things, but carte fayo manke carte fayo lumot carte fayo carte fayo mu register aka commencer register de lalto ka ñi kayto men sika e ka dila UDP meta ñu ko folale na ko ñi ka kele tabri ya jame jamano kana fo say bare mol camera be kuma kenzo vol dunia do ñibe ko no fo si karam e ñi kare ko monat na comme fo patriote ba nga desono be comme be ñi ko ñi no men ke patriote nga ñi desono be de even though yes o level of jele ha comme part of our preparations ngam prepare ñami fo si nga kata ñelan ba kala tan ko last year nga do kele no sa last election the black we project ma cause mole for kelo kara glato because of system when kara ñami tamani ñami maybe it wasn't the right way. We are not maybe mang strategic with it, or we are not smart and tamani ñami football dala kelo ke do lipa kanela janda tenente whatever. It was a bit, but this time obviously the same focus bijele kacha kita kotenke mba tamana ñami dumala hakilo la ani you understand strategy, not just kada nyapi mol kan ka fenkete. So isa fo yes o kata kata but ka fa ko mi It's a special thing. It's not a special thing. We are always prepared for this. Meta follow mo na fanang it become more dango. Ni ko ko evidence le. Okay? Fine. So dunia be change kang, technology bina kang, mo fanang be kuning kang, be karang kang back. Na agento alhamdulillah rabbi amin e be dogo kendo kang sate karo bela. Amam perfect man. Ni ko jeng ngani be content le. Amam perfect. Body silol me ka ke jama e ka tinyaro ka silol men na ngol lon nge sutede. Ngan na karang lo kele last election. Nta be fola ni ne mbolo gibe kam bari ibe suit iba sutela le mbe nyo sutela le de mo nyin kata. You understand? So one of the key areas ika batanduro ke dami wala ka mol samana melanko imang eligible. Kala nyimu cool melanko is very sensitive. Nya fo do samere be lunta wala kelaka because modo ye se message du akoto wala nafiki adu akoto kan mol senyola komi karanyo lo mala lunta wala fikete no mi manke lunta kelet Gambia kabiri ngam fallo Gambia banko manko lunta ngai kari yembake janda mona mala lunta mbata jang Gambia is one of the best places lunta sina dame ay si jang ay business ke jang ay musul futu ay kodal sang kam lunta ngiro jela kodal kebe kata bu abe 100 by 100 sanna lunta ta banko do hani 20 by 20 ta sanna laje jang abe West Africa jang banko fo nyimo forenati ite ala hani 20 by 20 asan jay kana la moje moy bonan anywhere ay nay 100 by 100 indiano nay 200 by 200 da be ko ngode misiri ba jibela this is what Gambia so mam balang lunta na jay si jang ye balu jang e futu ye kodal sa e ko ye business control ye na jabo control ye mano control ye sukuro control ye forest control fofo ndiyata ya control Gambia non tagama de control ja fanya ba ya dola balu Gambia kilin fe nama ngam Muhammad Jani nduma re nduma afanya what area did we control fofo na belu ndala bulu na domoro na supermarket all everything sise subo abelunda ndoma mamuna de ndon sa nama ngam noti mamuna de la ko afanya ba na forex everything abe deal fo be dara bullo sa nyebe bullo sa ite be bullo ite gamme masota ite la bungo sangi so abelo rinje sa benen ko benen isiri diplomate yemelo diplomate ngilu me defata diplomate woto diplomate ba tanem fale be jelo ka infata raje ibe sila yetulo yaka ngo mun kansifa ka boja e ka kansifa e ka kandola moy memma gena mana kaw mo dunya ko benen ibe bada benen le benen wal sa wala ka juru mana kana bungo say ni la fe la bungo correct best contractor sia taf la en taf si de braba loka sifo taje abe 90% abe sera leonia sa en tol mo ben tol na be di sita ye sa na ku kilin fan ko men na mansa fana sin la men na karta keso wo fana ngal ko ala na ale fana tambul bu ko le loko na ratele mansa furo sin do ko na jang ni ngi na le sin ko na ale se aliya ale do flija do ni mansa katibalo be yobri jam be daga la sanji lulu ndem kala no le bulu imalla fen itilan ko doma fedole wala na masa be kar kamfari luka la president kabita di ma ite masa mello kabiri ya jama jamano ya jama lumen ñu na gagner carte fe foko bi la gagner 75% wala kam kan na pardon jena bane fo mi wala ala bala fino ka kumi mo ne ka diaye why are you angry ñete ya be te believe te you get 400,000 votes ikamene kamfa mana na masa ko kamfa 24/7 because they are never comfortable because they know in their heart of hearts many sin what they told. This is the reality. You can sound like a crazy conspiracy theory, but this is what they know because it doesn't make sense. Ito ko last election you got 420 something thousand votes. The opposition of Bute over 200,000. Ito ka muna panic B. Kata fake birth certificate. Ikaw kay fanko red fanko in tafa barret. Aja ikalo ikamare ikawa fiko mburu kaito. Nye marke ila deputy speaker everybody nada. Ika mune panic. Ito ko you have a 400,000 lead. For father ba. Many of kare benyo. Kaya bijan. Imam bakete kumankela bijan. Just 5 years the man. Did they disappear? Did they die? No, they are here. You already have a 200,000 difference in UDP tema. Hey, why? Ibanya na pisa Allah. Asifu nya.
Sidi kamune
Say,
kejeno.
why are you? No, I'll come to that.
I know I'm jumping the
You
horse,
understand?
but this is
Ha.
just so important
So
because
ha.
I hope people are following the Yinkumata Babakele. We laugh about this issue, but this is very
It's
consequential.
important because
It
look,
is life changing.
what ha? Because you call him be kidding a be more of a student house another penal.
Huh.
Like today, fuel. If I'm president today, what I'll do what Zambia did, I'll do what Germany did. Just last 4 days, just last 1 week. What Banco Sabana ngambe post Facebook. Many yella, it could because massive can do kono. Fuel price so it had a tax so a VAT bondi, a tax so bondi, mole balu. Don't be saying Hansa fuel be $98. You haven't to na phone call the subsidy nonsense. Why don't you cut that VAT at $11 per liter? If you take $11 per liter, you're kobosi. Ila article excise tax $3.75 budus. Ila duty $3. $3 is $3.75 plus $11. Ajala. Adi NRA law nonsense $8 per liter. NRA funko levy. That's almost what? 10, 19, 20, almost 20 something dollars at a bond. You're born 98 gonna be. Manta 78. Million dong. Sari dia, sai. So you can do that with a simple pass of a pen with a brain. But why can't I do it? Because I have somebody sitting there who doesn't even understand who doesn't even understand what is a VAT, doesn't understand what is plant price, doesn't understand fuel, anything that has to do with energy and work among fellow understand it. Surrounded by people, many yana quoted but in a degree kunti. So because of somebody sitting there, may I see the katekeso. Say combo bond ato konto bond ato kataka alka voters card alka mola birth certificate. You living in America. Have you ever seen a US birth certificate? Did they even show you that? That's how secret that document is. Maybe just
Ndego da mata
sign
ngole.
lulu say
Ha.
sign lulu fe yoke jël say nte bi jël sign mo nte one day birth certificate namana nyala.
Ha.
That's how
Namanaje.
secret
Fana
that
namana.
document.
Yeah.
Ntolta hena na biya ambur kayti mala. Hena na. Ya jurumolta ya pack. Ika fanke la nyakere yela nyi stay fonko ka ba yela red fonko nyi. But red fonko nyi yala kata ya seal. Ika stamp le ko di.
Ha.
Ajal ay silo sa yo tol be mal.
Mfama mo alkalo tino. Nka stampo kele no.
Yeah, bante. Yo, so that red seal ni iko la after JP ya sa ko di. Yo hena na. Sa yo la ya so tale tanje masoro je. Ika pesin mo le tek. Our nas subhanallah. Ha, ndolla ay na birth certificate ka wafi so biri nyi musul mu de ko atul wala ko andro mala nyenda ko tay so we don't want to use that as an excuse nyenda ko tay malo ko mari jang ngebe pa ko la nyama police nada you know e ko nyinte bando la tanje because of very there was a lot of commotion aja so inade move brusubi so
Ali
how
intel
many
soto
of these are
nyadile.
happening?
Nkole fo. Ali intel soto nyadile.
No, we have our namobe on the ground. We have agents and then agent of an watch out. Sare during one.
But he loyalist.
No, but sare during fanamu.
Ha, okay.
If you come and give a number of them, because young gambe do it.
Ha.
You know, be mo sali bana gina karanya la jana I think that ala fanko la wala karabor it's I when I come on man, some of these things don't make sense.
Yeah.
We live here. They are living in our homes, they are renting in our homes. You know, they are our neighbors. So not everybody gonna be an unpatriotic idiot. Some are gonna have some brains and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to get a connect in like a Senegal Senegal. Why are they coming to me? So but they are getting backing. Well, I bring a price like in MPP troko na pirimpe so called big go na kefang tiki takaje. So police will not just to avoid the commotion. Ye be samba brusubi. Sooner votari je rek intending yang for the top city jafana na. You supposed to be the custodian of my constitution. You are the deputy speaker. Be a talent vice president of the B. B. Bare ko la tara kalante yala jana to Congo.
Speak kindly of the president, please.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, atara tamba mbalu laje. Then it's Sasun Gesi. One of the biggest details in this country.
It will more flow from a baker banko bulanyadi.
It's the height of irresponsibility because you Kurano la you Kurano da ekala you bana ke kala memfola. Wallahi billahi. They swear to the Quran to serve this country. They don't even know what they are swearing on. You don't care. This is not a cliche, it's real. Gambia yellow, what is so important? That I told Mofle saying today, Fabaka Tom Manjada, the guy that committed treason and incident. The two Mango, they are ready, will case tough. Mazakunda look at straight, he did to subvert the will of the people, to pass emergency laws and things like that. Kamola Bankola Kafali. President of Kasamba exiled. Do you know how dangerous that thing is? The whole president can exile because of you. Ever since I tell you are president today, sitting there as your VP. You are the custodian of my constitution, my documents. It is not a police station. It is not a munela. Nga kaito muta many bulu. Boy menga si aka kaito ta aka birth certificate ta aka safa komi geja aka dimol. It is not a way. You, Sidi, supposed to be custodian of my constitution, my sovereignty, and the single most important document in my country, my birth certificate. Mumbo fekang ite ko kana police ite le delegation kana police. Alka kana wala jibe.
And it's a criminal offense. It's a criminal offense.
It's not criminal offense. So what happened here? Reversing court. No. This is not an election dispute. This is a simple case of criminality. That's what I told Sidney. Smooth talk wow, killing, we are not moment killing.
No, I think the essence. No, boy. I think the essence of what they're saying is that, regardless of our differences at our core, we're all Gambians. I think that's what they mean.
We are Gambians. I do everything to hold them every day. How am I like? I'm not like you. I don't do that kind of stuff. You know, do act it. India, anytime Gambia, no, I know these people. If they die like Bafala, alonko ipata kulela. Ni pata that's why follow guy then jar. Y'all making Gambian. Who gives? I don't give. Don't remind me that. I don't need to remind me that we are all Gambian. Just go to the facts. Go to the point straight away. Don't kind time waste. So, you know that's it. So the angle at home. So near Memuta, what he's trying to do to avoid this kind of situation again. So he was trying to say, "How, well, swing living suñ jàppee gars yi suñ lifi ne yi ñu binda ko ñu nóot ko gars yi nóot fa gars yi nóot fii fii amul nóot de gars yi lii is a crime. You are talking about politics, election. Guy, what happened here is called fraudulent acquisition of a national document. Guy, how man understand alone? Police will kanya malanka. La police for see or whatever. But ufana be der guy albe mo la mo jang. Criminal case be kirin jang. Pray understand. Don't know that reversing ko dal taw adinta man taw. What happened here when we nga momuta ba problem la le ajel nga fituno baka sort of not like fituno but come confront the person and then police na yem fat anytime. Then ndol aning meyake the culprits meya muta the witnesses police will be nyambu in some police. Then nga case file nga evidence or dialla kayto nga muta bulu the material evidence, the witnesses and the people nga muta me bulu culprits nga la bulu kon sa atole ajibi atol police on ale kalimen fa la fa case ki fulesin labang fa la ka muta fedela ndol the case number tala nga report ko nga file we expect a prosecution because it's a crime nal man sona kala budu you'll sign their evidences in case 2026 December sita in case of wala balla Cairo determine in bakon kanja. This is what we told them. So in 2026 member kala bila kumasita this lawsuit, this evidence nale in case fundi. This was agreement we had put come be janga say ko nga say we leave the corporates more now the guy giving the cards, the slips, and then the three women yeah di mella. Okay, Ani many emuta. So say woli ko wala tuji. Yela statement ol di evidence wala protocol. So we expect as Gambians, what do we expect? Prosecution, okay? So if it's thrown under the carpet, not prosecuted or fem manke, okay, so we know 2026 December,
Yeah.
now we know what to do. And backed by facts because the process has been proven to be problematic because you fail to take action.
Problematic, yeah.
So if you
And I
cannot
told
go
for
there,
now. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say if you can also address the broader question of this is not should not be only a UDP inherent responsibility. People should not just associate. This should, I think, naturally be an interest of every single Gambian who cares about fairness and transparency and accountability of our electoral process. And so I'm curious, wala patil bijel mi yalanko complementing what you guys are doing. Wala, you know, what's happening with our opposition parties? Why are they not championing this? In fact, there should be a joint press conference for opposition parties to make a joint statement, like civil society, what they did, like Gambia Participate and Elections Watch,
Mhm.
when they made a joint statement after that stamp issue actually came out. But I'm curious if you can also address that.
Well, that comes down to um, the reality of Gambian politics and opposition parties in general. Ninga nyumfo, before people, oh, Siddiqui is arrogant, he doesn't respect other parties. He talks down on people. That's what they accuse me of. Because I keep telling them that many times, ko yung bangko, we don't opposition party diya. UDP the malabijang. You told me we dende do la kawike, but for last opportunity in a course in la palace to la side. Okay, because for 5 years, Janin Katefayo, between Katefa and Katefete, became that way. Just like the same silence is what they did for the past 4 years. Mesirin Janne, Masime Bailation Kerajang, Dollar Kerajang, Han Nkalbuka Molhoto, MPP, UDP, the Malamwe. Every Bailation Kerajang, almost 3 4 Patita Keri, they didn't take, it began by the Balure. For the past 4 years, this was been happening. Complete silence until Ekosa in Katefa as a 1 year, 6 months, 9 months, pump. Mobi ko palaso opposition nakaza coalition filaito hejal mato but sanyi nani tebe dere so sanyi nani de kilon ko take because sanyi nani be kering batal be kering koleal be kering. Okay, you are going and fighting basically fente kering, you are just basically out there. There's no immediate reward. 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, hanitara banditara campaign there's not immediate reward, but you are building something. The instant gratification wasn't there 3 years ago. What are you campaigning for 3 years ago? Nothing, right? But it's not nothing. You are building a base. So that silence, when there's no reward for it, came back again. So we are back at where in the field, at the police stations, trying to keep track of these things, painstakingly going there, burning your own fuel, running around, doing all this. It's hard. Anytime it's hard, they disappear. And these are not accusations. This is your observation and my observation. I've been asking more beginning question like the whole day. Ile. Maybe then we all near alone. Nako jam param deal itolo flow bida wasan gam Africa. Talking about coalitions.
Wait, freestyle for a second. We can hear you, but okay,
Okay,
okay.
saying it's time to lead. It's time to show up. Only one party is getting suffering out there. Telecando home. Agent Bejola. Be batala. Be borimborina. Mbita police. At least alfane wuli ako mfana mbita ngin sanjale. Mfana mbita basele, sobea esa fal ndebe stroni la okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So this is time doiko okay, secunda is my stronghold. Let me defend nga secunda bartes law ba fo nga je control ka je ko nobody's tampering with our phone thing. Doi fane active. Again. So we have any wuli afane ta la stronghold or banjul whatever it is. You know? These new guys, I don't know. I don't, yeah, let them at least, even if you don't know where to go, let's say you are not experienced, call UDP. Hey, Dr. Laimane, I heard you guys are doing this. We are not very experienced with this. You know, grassroots following here and there, checking this thing. Can we tag along with you? Because at the end of the day, the same agents we have at these registration centers is a replica of the election day.
Mm-hmm.
Election day, you're gonna have agents too. So why not just join us while we are going through these things? Learn the system. You are team surveyor. You have never done this. Okay, be humble. Call us. Hey, I want to tag along. And the only party that I well so-called movement that are moving is the movement, and movement is basically UDP, right? United Movement. They are
Mm-hmm.
UDP rebels, so they know the deal. they know they know what can happen, what can go wrong if you sleep on the wheel at this
Yeah.
point. That's why itaramuna la imanta jabi fonko imanta any MPP ko kelta fonko akalo stampo.
Hmm.
Ah,
Cool
because
for for
because they know
ka
the danger factor.
alcalola stampo fonta in itself. I think I just don't know what they're thinking. I think
No,
you
but
know.
no, Ibrahim. Alcalo Stampo. I don't know what you understand about Alcalo Stampo. Maybe
Oh no, I know.
because
That's
your
the
dad is
no,
Alcalo, but
no. That's what I'm telling you is for the government to even make a decision to seize an alcalo stamp. That's what I'm saying is in itself. I think is grounds for serious legal conversations
yeah.
on accountability
Yes. So these are the
because
questions
this
that
whole movement you're disenfranchising an entire community
yes,
from a registration process,
yes.
and that's the point I was trying to get to.
Because what they need it for is not what it was intended for.
Hmm.
See, intentional at that time in the 70s and 60s when these things were enacted, maybe the intention at that time was legit.
Hmm.
Maybe in the 60s, mobile sanjit tan sabana mana solo kom you understand
Hmm.
mana mana bi kaidi na data mantara bulu in the 60s maybe that could be excused in the 70s it could be excused in the 80s it starts becoming I don't know 90s come on you gotta if you're here as an adult up to the age of 20 something years old 30 40 honey one
Yeah,
shred of documentary Gambia to show that you're Gambian that is a problem
it is.
in the 2000s it's inexcusable in the 2020s, that's a problem. So ala purpose, like I said, like the idea behind it was okay, but saying it's been exploited. We heard the Alcalo of Laricuna German 2021. I can remember very Mr. Fall vividly. And in Bundun Alcalo, you fully won't remember because well there was confrontation. The Alcalo of Laricuna German, something Fall, he lashed out. He was I don't know, he basically said some very,
Incendiary
unorthodox
stuff. Yeah.
things. Ako ha, ku jege be passé naka China sa suma ñëwee naa ko jox be passé sa naa ko jox pour mo ko sa ara mo ko banam passé ha ka banam passé kana fo jang la ko na jaman ka fo be attest la so how can you attest somebody who was not even born within the combos but you are an
Yeah.
alcalo so you swore by something. I believe there's some kind of fanake caliber nakodi. So
The
you just give
attestation
the
kakawaldi. So
attestation to that
attestation
person
is
and then you
basically,
brag about
yeah,
it.
yep,
So when
you are
and
attesting that
UMC
this
on the
person. Mhm.
ha, thank you. What a matter. So UMC understood the game. So when they when they also had opportunity to have that attestation, they know what they could do with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kanya, if you can beat them,
you join them. Hmm.
he joined them. But
Yeah,
I never wanted to fall into that because ah boy, I hear this a lot, and it's very conflicting sometimes in our way from even some UDP that are frustrated. Konyoko, muna na alfana mbukata come okay, not like Luntol,
hmm,
but konyo muna na alfana mbukata ali renewal register on the age, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
yeah,
I really don't want to fight illegality with illegality. It's a difficult choice to make because
it
they be like,
is.
okay, say the be die la jang, ni ba kila sa te karo bela, ite be sirin jang. You hear these things, and sometimes you will get to your head. You'll be like, you know what, F it, let's do it. But for my part, maybe somebody else will be influenced and they will try the same thing. But I try not to fight what's wrong with another
another
wrong.
round. Yeah, you can.
You know,
Well,
so this is it.
can you zoom in also a little bit more on the broader issue of Nabankola Kaitolo, right? Recently, ngajele fanang, in I think
Mhm.
some musudo yole muda Canada and in Gambia
Canada,
Kaitolo
yeah.
na Gambia passport. Obviously ngalo na fanang ko na Gambia Kaitolo asoto mo kole ake. A valuable delivery. It's not the first time we see falde mol kabo banko jamala to Africa kanana ka Gambia passport
Mhm.
or sang ke nyame adama ngal ko mil e ka samul bulo ko no Gambia no lam. And for a long time there's not much been done about it, but also if you can tie that to told me the diaspora independent electoral commission for example have not uh, sort of put any
Mhm.
logistic in place, or they're not even considering us at all. Puruntolu, diet rectify kono. Akamutala ko gameno mbebe tu abudu, will be disenfranchised, la mobi ke mirandola.
Mhm.
Ninka cha mbebe ke content science and mansakunda ma interest, even though lua
And
lata la minka
you guys
tandiko.
are out of the equation.
Yeah, exactly. We're completely out of the equation. But if you can zoom in specifically on the issue of Gambia Kaitolo and relate it to electoral process, how important it is for Gambia to stay vigilant and for everybody to make it a responsibility to resist violating the constitution, because that's an inherent responsibility. Gambia be means sort of. This is not just about Kafuko, whether UDP or whether UMC or whether NPP. Everybody should resist any attempt for anybody to violate the constitution of the Gambia and also its connected laws that we also have.
This is a very good question, and I like how you framed it to make sure everybody stands up and then see this as a national issue rather than politics. Because
Yeah.
they have been maligned, I've been insulted. They told me I'm a xenophobic, I'm tribalist, and all kinds of stuff. It's been very painful talking about this because every time you lose friends, and because for Nyaming, we were not looking at it from the prism, from the lenses of patriotism,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Mhm.
Well, is good from an independent voice. So I think this is really important to amplify this discussion. Kajana fanundi.
Mhm.
Pour mole ajeko. Wallahi, this is not about politics. I would rather lose an election 5 times, knowing ko Gambia din wole karte fay yem busale.
Mhm.
Then I'll go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what am I doing wrong in Fuladu? What am I doing wrong in Bansang? Why am I losing in Jahal Pachar? Why am I not doing well in Kudang? Then I can go to the drawing board and go and face the people of Kudang because I know I'm 100% sure that New Kudang do Diamola. I go to Mahmoud Fana. I try to break through Mahmoud Fana. Yes, I know that Mahmoud Fana do Kachaka. And I embrace our diversity. Just like Jawara days. Jawara was winning in Mahmoud Fana for everywhere. He was beating Hassan Musa Kamara in Basse. Hassan Musa Kamara was a fuller. Michael Balen Jahanan Jana Bua Bale was nana ben natara independently ay PPP boote. PPP na rakon ya Cox ya murna about PPP ya winter against another. This is what Gambia used to be. It was never about tribe. But we fight for regions. I taran namal tema. Namal nga duked here. Hani mbusala 50 times. Wallahi, I'll never be bitter. I'll just go back to the drawing board. The farmer ya busi 4 times I've boy kan election as deputy during Jawara. He was never bitter.
Mhm.
Kabada buka karefaya. I'm saying right now we are blaming Kabada. I'm saying Kabada. People want to make it like it's a full thing. I keep reminding you can calm down. No, calm down. My father was going to elections with Alaji Asise during Jawara from 1977 to 1990, last election, 1992. Ngwe Kabada. Nkaraje le mfama kara nyutura masuwal finkara asamba je finkateng boholo ni folteng but bika dial ika nene la kurodomo ibika dial because Kabada man sabe dal katara wolto kabada bang Adam Barrow long kabada never voted for Adam Barrow in 2016 no full settlement voted for Adam Barrow in 2016 not one no final settlement sate voted for Adam Barrow jukadu everywhere abia ya busa belt bi wala ketala mundi ala stronghold this Sierra sort of so this Sierra URR I don't know what you call it you know that firewall that MPP built. Where was that in 2016? They don't even know who the hell Barrow was. They don't care. They'll go for Mansakunda. Nyeti bira masonga tena tabi ba fala sonko. Ibira base. Ibama you were born in Jumara. Ibama you were born in Angal Jana Atunum Fuladu. You think you were born a Fula. They will all vote for you. That's how it. That's just nature. So, that's not politics. That's not coming like a security. Dunia Gambia benunten. Ndamalaka karefai. Even though this Jawara time for now, Kasoro nun like cross border voting from voting, but it wasn't as exacerbated as Komisa Benyami. You understand? So to treat this matter as a national issue, that's the beginning of our solving our problems. You see, I say, the MPP la munti ha, bari, mfela jara soma because you know what happened in Jara Soma? Just to give an example of this problem, I can main course. I told someone maybe the theoretical way, but let me tell you the practicality of the issue. So we have hospitals. We have a hospital, sort of. I wouldn't call hospital, but government hospital, health center, some big one. Pakalinim we have one. Okay, that's solving that whole LRI. Nibura Kiang, whatever. Maybe Allah can about the Mabin the money. Because what MRC about, of course, but in Dola inside of Jana, Somalia. So in surrounding village of Jara, Sikunda Jana, Pakali, Karab, you know, Bureng Abe. Soma is where they belong. They zoom in on. So this is where this foreign voter Karab Parliament demola. So when the Ministry of Health need a population census and then allocation of their resources, they go with the number of people many living in the Cyprus, whatever, like a G-boss coming for Gali, citizens. They look at Jara Sikunda, Pakali, you understand? Soma, yes. Okay, so 2-3 kilometers from Soma, 5 kilometers you start going to Casamas, Haramusalo Barbaron. Okay, Omo Juru Medicare Dunay register. When Mansakunda is allocating their medicine for you in Soma, they are not allocating for that Casamas people. When you can see Julia, well, Seno Bajon Kojana, Itila Boro Taye, Senegal, Ila Mansakundaya. But they are so far away from the main centers of Senegal, the closest one Sajaman side Bambalino, the closest model, Dolo Jarama. Yo, so they kind of struggle, they are lazy to go in the interland, Katela Bagasolta. So Ntole Sudia, Somal Sudia. So it look ID Nyaji Kinyola Purkan of Vodas Castle. It's not just to vote Adam Barode, but coming for Lee Solanka Ame, Ikaina for Santo. Nada in Carosoro. Say for Cosania and Caro de la Yaya, you or somebody. Kafo Yinaba Sambala Nos. The fourth day, Cafe Caracarafelet. They registered Jana for Sanja in 2001. One was just from high school. So I hear these things. The Cafe Limala Yubu Nos. That is a gold mine for you. Because what the Gambian knows, how much do you pay? $5. Go to Senegal and say, pay $5 and see. Honey, hello. It's from a doctor. $5, what do we call you? So when they live along those phone calls, the Ministry of Health allocate these medicines for Jara Soma according to our population. Sikunda, Karantaba, January. Understand? Okay? Then what happens on Wednesday? Wala Thursday, ila nyalo wadela kataraje. Comme nyimmu limu kata do gola. Kajel bu sareto. Nyala kajet. Ikay he kejena ne sareto farata binaka gulo ko. Be gulo ko ne bina ni somala kaduna sare musanyola kanalo nos kanalo pita. Ibe tamila la farfata pita ni la sareto. For the medicine that your government allocated for you. So what do you keep hearing? Lopitan itare be kanari be ka fentara je comme tara je ani parasme be ka tara je parasme be tadal Bandasul be tatal because it was allocated for you in Sekunda and Penyaraba and Karantaba. But then the customers people came and took everything. Because Minara, what are they gonna show you? My voter's card. What are you gonna do? Nos yalan do you have any nose told me this? Iko buba nka jela nka lon ko nyinte. But man hani. Because yes, it man hani and they are right ko man hani. Because if they violated that woman's rights as a citizen, because you say as a citizen, you borrow or say for whatever for your stupid political blah blah blah. Say she's a citizen. She
Yeah.
has to pay $5. Say, it didn't know so. What right do you have, Brian, to deny her service for $5? What right do you have? Tell me. Now what do you have? It be my bullet. Now you sue. Customers do. So young, Nico and customers have the tribalize. I feel like Jola. I'm coming for the
Yeah.
no.
And you know, to
No,
that to
we need
that
to be honest with these conversations.
and to that
Nobody's
point,
going after anybody
yeah.
here. Yes,
To that specific point, left in Kala Wala phone, you know, like it's important to be honest. Puru kanyin kacha sifal ke, they're uncomfortable, but also, the
yes.
in the indirect risk of it is that it comes as though you're being xenophobic or that you are having an attack on certain groups of people, right? And so I'm curious,
No, no, no.
how do you sort of navigate that?
I use the health ministry.
Hmm. But
What
welcome, man.
I use the health ministry, the
Hmm.
hospitals as a caveat here, as an example.
That's a reference point, yes.
Ha, nkemwele.
Hmm.
Ko?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, me and go ahead, Bua.
Yeah. I deliberately chose the health ministry, the health clinic example
Hmm.
because y'all are saying, okay, now you are creating a unified understanding because
Yeah.
we are all gonna use the health centers and we all hear these stories.
Ha.
So I use a common thing that we can all kind of correlate around and how it affects the distribution of resources
Hmm.
because that's why we hold censuses. Why do we hold population censuses? To know how to allocate resources. It's a big key part of it. So you are basically giving yourself false data because when you are collecting your census, you are in Secunda. There's no Kabara people coming in Secunda. They're all chilling in Kabara, hanging out.
Yeah.
Just stuff like Jana, customers they're hanging out. They don't have time to come for your census. But at that time, there's no incentive. They already have the voters card. They don't care about your census. So you're gonna do there your census. Yeah, Kabara Jana Secunda blah blah. Pakali ML based census. Fine. You report that to GBOS. Because you never Secunda. You never Jarawes. Then the ministry, obviously, their decision making will always be influenced by that number. How much are we going to allocate to people of Jara, Banzan Hospital, Basse Hospital, Farafenya Hospital? Big problem, Farafenya. Go there. In fact, most of the comments from nurses coming sort of from Farafenya because I went to Farafenya, I saw how vulnerable Farafenya is when it comes to this nonsense. Wallow Sati Lumbe Jana, Ker Iblobara, Bekana Farafenya. Who's paying for it? My government,
Hmm.
my taxpayers paying Jomai Faila Moon for the healthcare. How stupid can that be? Who's going to allow that stuff? So
Nobody.
these are the unintended consequences of this nonsense. Just for an election day victory, you destroy everything along the way. So now for the 5 years, it will complain. Farafeni will complain. Sigunda will complain. Someone will complain because we don't know how. What is it? So and then it becomes resentment because of course.
And Buba,
And then
you probably know this better than me too. But I'm also curious as to why do we even have to register people every 5 years? In most countries, you register once, and then you don't have to do it because you're looking at the possibility of more 18 years sort of, and the expectation is by the next election cycle they'll be able to be they'll be eligible to vote. But in the situation is just that every election cycle people have to register again, or the duration of their voter registration most times even expire. It only lasts for a particular electoral period. Is this the case, or what's the validity of our voters card? Bua, come on. Bua. Buba.
I think
Buba, ikaw mo.
what you're saying here, it has more to do with ikamola ndabe mo kanet
Hanke mo. Hanke
afisal
mo sai.
nga afisal lande budu ya kuma
I
sele.
know it's okay. It's been okay. It's alright.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Buba,
Oh.
ikaw mo. Hanke mo.
But hello?
Buba,
Yes,
I can
ikamola
hear
sa.
you. Yes, yes, yes.
Ha sai kemola sai. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sidik, me mo kan. Nse fiti no emuru nan ko
See.
denke real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Ndela nyine sekere. So what.
Thank you all. I told him, baby, for following the conversation with Siddiqui. Really appreciate all the comments and contributions. Buba is experiencing a little internet issue. I'll try to readmit him again, and we'll try to wrap up the conversation. But there's a lot of you here. For those of you who are in the diaspora, you can use supersonic money transfer to send money to your families in Gambia through their service, and they're available on Facebook. You can also reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with them. Their rates are good. I use their service. They're very reliable as well. And they're a reliable partner that I've been working with as well. So Supersonic Microfinance is here for you, and they're here to support you. It's a locally owned, it's a Gambian owned business, and you can support what they're doing. We'll have to readmit Bubacarr Sidiqi and we'll continue to finish the conversation. Let me see. Um, by back on. But yes, once again, thank you all for being here. For those of you watching on Facebook, there's a lot of you. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, Dialectic Space Podcast.
Yeah,
Buba,
I think I'm back again. I have to refresh my network.
your internet.
Can
No,
you
no
can,
worries,
can
no
you
worries.
can, can you hear me now?
Hear you, but the last question, I was saying, I
Ah.
think you're probably more educated in that area than I am in respect to registration, the validity of our registration itself. Because to sort of
Mhm.
curb this problem itself, maybe the country should start looking at that too structurally. Maybe we should have a longer validity period for our registration, for especially in terms of targeting new Gambians, like younger Gambians who have reached the age of voting. Wala miliaran ko inyanta sanjitan din siya sa pruka katify. Instead of electoral cycle, ita ka fuko ka more register like you spend a lot of money to register people. How about you just do this and then you give a validity period of say 10 years or 15 years or 20 years? Because mu Gambian
Mhm.
na Gambian di ya moto tala no blokon. It's always gonna
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But it just doesn't seem so efficient to me. And cost wise too, it's just not smart.
Yeah. I think this has more to do with our overall um, lack of you know national data. Because everywhere you go here, we have a problem with data.
Yeah.
I think if there's resources in the future, what we should be looking at, maybe Afanyami, national registration that's going to go like a 10-year validity.
Yeah.
10 years fine, and then the problem now comes. The issue now becomes once somebody reaches 18 years old,
Hmm.
it should be responsibility of them or their parents to walk them to an operational IEC center, like one or two or one in each region, one station, where always at all times will be manned by a IEC, agent, and also most likely political party representatives. I know it's going to be a tall task, but because it's prone to fraud.
No, because yeah, you have to
Because
balance it. If the president is
yeah,
hiring the chairman of the IEC, then you have to balance it
yes,
with political parties
balance
having their representatives in the process too.
exactly, yes, and then getting their salary paid for the whole year every day when I sitting there. Once anybody hits 18 years old, it's incumbent upon you, the 18-year-old, or your parents, to make sure you go and register. It's voluntary. Please do it. You'll be encouraged. At any given point, even or radio stations or whatever, reminding people if your child hits 18 years old, somebody to register. So they put you in a database. You give your card, and your card is valid for 10 years, and we just keep rolling like that, keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Instead of this new card, right now as we speak, there's a big confusion. Mayor Obidie that had the voters card in 2016. By now, their voters card has expired. You understand?
Hmm.
They're getting around May 2016, yeah, or 4th April. So technically, it has expired. But they still believe ko a voters card be a bullet. So ufana problem right now to get those people out of there and get them back to the polling station to go register again, to make them understand, because I am coming from to make it understandable, to make it easily digestible. We just tell them ale mo fofo ne card ye card me use ka card fay ada ya jamening adam baro na be bulu sai among a fight yeta do among expired. So that's the language we're using now. If you voted with a voter's card for Adam Barrow and Yaya Jammeh, 10 years has expired. So you go and get a new one automatically. And it's been very, even at party level. Yeah, because that shows you go farm road again.
Yeah.
So this is the problem. And I think we need to find a solution. I know Yalong main secure America, young, we are a bit far away from having the critical mass of the people up to that level of understanding. Then data can be much more effective. Right now,
Hmm.
you go to Sangaratala data, you are alienating a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the fact, and we just have to. That's why I like this marble thing. Let's leave the marble
Mhm.
alone.
Yeah.
Ha.
Yeah.
Let's leave the marble alone until maybe your kids' generation. What's it that paper? But yeah, you can.
I know.
Hey,
No, and I think I align with that because again, I think something has to, and this is it doesn't apply in all scenarios, but for Fernanda, something has to be wrong with it for you to try to fix it. Tolita has been working, I think, brilliantly well and admirably well, by the way. And so I just don't see the need why at this point Pruka are failing. And that opportunity would come because modernization also comes with it. Until I feel like we're just
mm-hmm.
way behind as a community. Mekuma bakele. And so there's a lot of other things we are going to fix that force than systems that we have that are working so far than for us to put our premium attention and resources on changing those things. I don't think that would be necessary. But Buba, on a final question, hopefully I can let you go from there. Election integrity is extremely important. We cannot overstate how significant it is, and it has to do with our sovereignty as a country. Malam fi mo kan never come
Mm-hmm.
to be free sin demand ninkel. Bube Kamal. Bube Kamal. Sidiki.
Yeah, yeah, game one.
Good. So on a final
Game
question,
one.
good. Uh, if there is any message that
I'm here.
okay, good,
Game one.
good. I'm trying to lay out the question. Is my
Yep.
what is your if there is any advice you will
Mm,
give to the Independent Electoral Commission, because I think their
yep.
role
I'm
in this,
hearing you.
yes, their role in this process is so critical. In fact, I
Yes.
cannot begin to to even state further how important it is for their impartiality, for their credibility, for their integrity, and to uphold all the rules of, fair play in this process. If there is any advice you want to set out for the Independent Electoral Commission, in towards between now and December elections. Nim fon fem bi jete amire nyanta min uphold la wala strategic areas mi yalan ko nyanta damel tol jibela bu mbe moy kan net e bota America bar America won boy to hani sande karo nying shit nying cost words min ka boy e da ko no tente ko
Yeah,
yetala do
biyo
man.
de yung fon ko jam fala bi de. Cha ta ta ta.
We've lost Buba for a second. Sorry about that. Buba come
Yes. I'm back again.
ko mbe tonya
Yeah.
kanenko iko e bota America de bari ko America man boy karo ko nying cost was wodol min ka boy da ko no tente unprovoked. They just
Mugataw.
I know. Those are that keep them ko almala nying jala ke dunia ning ke ba be ka America alfa bota jang it's still so evident it's crazy.
Oh God. Okay. So let's get to the question. Hopefully I can get
No,
that.
the
Then you
question
start
is
for that.
yes, I see left in Kala wala wrong. What
Ah.
role or what critical role should they play in this? Because they are the main players of this process, and it's important for the public to have a perceptive impartiality of them.
Yeah.
Because new man sort of the wrong I think problem all along. Because ngajele banku jama masibol min kakeje mostly is
Mm-hmm.
election related. And Tolu, one of our biggest strengths and gifts as a country is Nakairo Ngaminso. So they have a new leadership.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so different in terms of operation to the last one, but I think impartiality wokumata je baba kele, at least from what I can see. But if there's anything that you want to share to them, this is an opportunity to address that, and then the broader opposition party. I think Gambian ding olumume la responsibility in the community as we go into December elections. For Lustel, I couldn't give a mal.
Ila question on berada. Okay, question on berada. And it's very important. And it's every Gambian's job to answer this question or to understand this question because it's at the core of our peace and security post-election. And IEC have a huge responsibility to restore confidence in the system in the electoral system. There's been a lot of complaints. We've written to them a lot of times. We've given them a lot of evidences behind the scenes. We've been working with them a lot. Just to come out as a party all the time and say certain things because I'm like we are responsible also. We need to be responsible in what we say as a party. I can come and say certain things, but the party itself has been communicating with IEC a lot behind the scenes, requesting some information, requesting things from them. But there's a lot of work to be done on their side. Yes, they have a change of leadership. Mr. Jallo came, Joe Colley came. But Ndela Carola, like I said, as an individual, they have a lot of work to do compared to last time. Menketa. There's been a lot of incidences, that we try to alert them of certain irregularities that are happening. We kept a lot of receipts. Yes, you can also blame us because we also declined to go to reversing court in 2021, which I think was a big mistake. We should have at least, gone ahead and sued at least a dozen or more people. You might not win all the cases, but you might win some of the cases. But the key thing, for the cases to serve as a deterrent for would-be attempters, many attempted in the future, or many have already now they're sitting on eggshells like, oh shit, I might go to jail. Like, once there's some consequence, because still now there has never been any consequence to people attempting electoral fraud or voter card document fraud. This is the first time we are attempting. in Bursubi police station. We hope this one goes somewhere. Somebody sells another, a
I
couple of
mean,
months in mile two.
except I think the exception perhaps would be Gambia participate la Banjul North when they took the matter to court, and yeah, I think, and that's, and also to your point, civil society responsibility for nobody
Yeah.
to join
So
you guys in the
that
work.
has
Yeah.
to do with the contentious attestation issue, which we all
Mhm.
knew attestations are a problem. Like I was telling
Mhm.
you, it was intended for a purpose, but I think that purpose has been served. Those days are gone. So that's why easily Gambia participants could have easily get that simple judgment against them. Whatever happened in in Banjul,
Mhm.
because attestations are very problematic, especially in Banjul's case. Like that, well, this year they exempted Banjul from. So it doesn't make sense. Maybe 70 years ago, it probably made sense in Banjul. Maybe Banjul, everybody knew each other at that time. But right now, you cannot just sit as a mayor. You say somebody was born in Perseverance. It's just not practical. But maybe when it was, when they were enacting these things in the 60s, it probably it made sense. It doesn't make sense anymore. And Banjul, common sense prevailed in Banjul, knowing Banjul as a city, it's practically impossible for Rohi as a mayor to be the alcalde of the Banjul. They don't have an alcalde, they have a mayor. So it became absolute. This time, sanity prevailed, and before we went to the registration, IAC announced that Banjul exempt from attestations. So if Banjul is exempt from attestations, what about the city of Serekunda, Serjo? 100 times more populated than Banjul, way more bigger, way more diverse. How can you do an attestation in Serekunda? So, okay, this boy was born in Bartes. How? You can't. You are lying if you
Yeah.
do it. Literally, you are lying. So, Serekunda probably should have been exempt. Even Brikama. Brikama is huge. If you say Brikama, just go to Jalamba.
Uh,
Jalamba is like bigger than Serekunda now. But the alcalde of Brikama have to attest to that. How does that make sense? So you see how gradually what happened to Banjul is going to start happening to Serekunda, common sense Bakau, common sense Sukuta. Because now Sukuta cannot account for Sukuta. There's no way. It's so big. Even Sukuta Sanjaba alone is just bigger than the whole of Banjul. Just Sanjaba area.
yeah.
So practically, it's becoming very difficult to get it. So that's why Gambia participants were easily granted the Fungo. But there were a lot of common complaints that we made, especially with this ID card thing. Minors, we saw Musa Dramela Kodakono, in Jabugo somewhere in Sierra. There was IC in Musa Drabo's. Like, how can you not understand that that cannot happen? Even the optics of that is really bad. This is a state minister
Yeah.
and IC, because, like, you can't do that.
Yeah. The
That's an
perception of it
executive
itself is
member
strong. Yeah.
of the government, yes. So these things, we raised these concerns, and IEC never took it serious. So IEC, yala ñi lafta num bi ngasi bi nana kana kuma faykan. If they had a statement that they meant we made a mistake. Our agents were in the state minister's compound. We corrected this, blah blah blah. Then you and I can see that, okay, yes, at least they took some sort of action in 2021 to prevent, you know, a, a fraudulent activity or potential fraudulent activity by the involvement of a state minister. So these things happened. These things were reported. You saw it. I saw it. The general public, the civil society saw it. Nothing came out of it. So you cannot, out of common sense, for me, expect me or expect my party, after seeing all of these things, presenting it to IEC and then turning a blind eye to it. This is not politics anymore. This is not petty tuma like coming tuma. This is real. You saw it. I saw it. So why didn't IEC say something? So if they paid a blind eye to that one, you cannot expect me today to have 100% faith in them. Do I have a choice? They're still here. I can't disband them. I don't have the power. I have to go with what I have right now. But I can also come and tell you, Latila 100%. Then I'm very foolish. We saw evidences where Bausen put them out here. We saw people on the IAC register thing where the timestamp showed about, I don't know, 300-400 people getting registered in 30 minutes. When we complained, they say it was a computer thing, it was a time thing, it was a glitch. Like, no. What happened was there was somebody sitting somewhere doing some data entry of voters' cards that were not entered at the polling stations. What should have happened, you come as Ibrahim Sonko, they take your credentials, you sign that thing, bam, 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 they put your name, you take a photo, pop, within 5, 7 minutes, you are done. So the time lapse, the time stamps on those things should be at least 10, 15, at least 10 minutes minimum from one guy to another guy to another guy. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense for somebody come Moena, somebody in February register in 30 minutes. This is what we showed. And still now IEC didn't reply. Another key factor, after we disputed the elections, we said the numbers were fraudulent, blah, blah, blah. Okay? We said now, IEC, to mitigate all this, can you mitigate, right? Can you make problem solve? Now, why didn't you, because by law, after every election, IEC should publish, not announce every polling station, but publish their results on their website or anywhere you can go and check it tomorrow. Of every polling station, 1,555 polling stations. Can you hear me, Ibrahim? Hello?
Go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So we requested on about 3 times behind the scenes, the party wrote to IEC to request for them to release or to publish the results of every polling station across the country in 2021 presidential elections. 1,555. And they refused. Up to today, they refused to release that number to the party upon request. Now you'll be curious, why? And you're gonna be curious, why? Why are they not willing to release that information to you?
It's a golden
Yes,
question.
you announced Secunda East, you announced Brikama North, Brikama South, Kukarele Winter. That's all you know. But Brikama North, or let's what it was saying, the Brikama North, Brikama
Newtown,
South.
Ntolbe Southly, I think. Newtown.
Hello?
Brikama Newtown, Ntolbe Southly, Brikama Newtown.
Hello, Ibrahim?
Nkaflembe Southly, Brikama Newtown. You come well.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Sidiq.
Oh God.
Elani internet kan. Jara internet lo nyindi.
Hello?
Buba come well, ma.
Okay, yeah, Newtown, Cody.
Brikama Newtown, South Lom, Brikama South. Ntolbo, I think that's where
Okay.
at least unless it's changed.
So
Brikama South.
So let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can. Okay. So say come well, Cody.
Okay, well.
Okay. Game well side. So yeah. Yeah, you don't want to much. Let me do this.
Buba.
Hello?
Elani internet de.
You come well side.
Okay, well.
Bilal, officer, I have my full data. I have, normally I have a very good internet, but I don't know what's going on.
No, I think people a lot. It's overload. More Jamal internet use can this
Normally I
time
have
of
a
the
very
night in
strong
Gambia.
internet.
Yeah. But yes, please go ahead and we can hopefully wrap up.
You come well side.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, probably, yeah. It's an overload, yeah, probably, yeah. But can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about this chat. Anyway,
Oh, it's
so
okay. Mm-hmm.
So what I was saying, I don't know, the IEC. So we requested for them to give us that data. Ikabala, Hansa Balandi. Because problem with them, when they were announcing Bekama South, when they announced Bekama South, they announced the constituency. That's all you know. Okay? But then, every polling station, remember Bekama South, UDP Mensoroje, well, MPP Mensoroje, Itamolo. You understand? Oh, man.
Strip it. Let me kick you
This thing
out and
is
bring you back on.
garbage, man.
American no way. Anyway, once again, everybody, thank you all. Allah Baraka Babake for being here and for being so interactive and patient with us because, with the internet in Gambia is just so impossible sometimes. But we try to make it work with what we have and we try to remain undeterred with our conversations because of the interruptions. Buba, Mr. Jammeh, yeah, Sonko. Bimbe na timo ngolo dumbi Manchester. Inimbara. Nkai ko inimbara. Sonko Gambia. Lamin Jasong, Al-Nimbara, Ekon, Lamin Seka, all of you. I
Boy.
see all of you. Buba. At, no, at this point, I know, at this point, Kangalong will have to probably leave it here.
This never happened. I swear.
it's
I don't know
it's all
why.
good. It's all good. Hopefully, you
I
can you
always
can
have internet. Wallahi.
you can probably try to finish then because Marlon Weather will have chance.
Yes. I really want to finish this part, but it's hard.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Let's try and see. Now I'm gonna walk, then I'm gonna walk.
Yeah. No, what I was saying.
Hmm.
So part of why our trust in IAC could have been better because we went through stuff. Ndara kola keta. Understand? Ngini ka fen wolela. Yala ngani musa dira mela kodala ngofo ngani fo. But at another part, we requested things from them. Understand? Wala keta komi the publishing of the results from each polling station, which is a right. After every election, they should give us that. They should publish that and have made it available for all of us to see it. Because you gotta remember, it'll become a South. Because all you heard is Brikama South, that's all you know. But
Yeah.
then breaking Brikama South down to individual polling stations and then how much UDP have in polling station 1, polling station 2, polling station 5, 4, blah blah blah. You have no idea. But now, the reason why we asked this from IEC, because they left announced. They said, okay, UDP combos out, Naga becomes out, UDP 5,000, blah, blah, MPP 9,000. Okay, all of okay? How that numbers came about, nobody knows. So I published the polling station numbers. The day you do that, when we were counting polling station 1, primary school or jana, no school or jana, thinking many baker, there be count, yala mola many witness. Allah well, somebody your auntie or uncle knows what was counted because it was counted in front of tens of people. Not just agents, not IEC, not party agents, but people that witnessed it. And they will never forget that number. That number that I mentioned of polling station 1, it became a misera. Became when you tell the school and I mentioned Bria way ya conte. Mentioned many are encounter ya lamwe, and ya witness. Well, number is ingrained here forever. The day IEC announced that number, they published that polling station number because that polling station number have to come together to give us whatever bogus number they give us. It has to match. The day they announce the polling station numbers is not going to match with what the national numbers are showing. Election they may announce. At the mic. Even mo yela wula ko ye wu jang astaghfirullah ya fa ko this police station jang akira nyala jana nyim mosoro jang. This is what I nyine soro jang be nyine count jang. But it all because the thing is you have to understand that 90% voter turnout is your key, is your smoking gun. Because a number that is stuff, a number like a realistic number. Anytime they do that, what happens? What ends up happening? Because simple statistics. If you're putting numbers that are not really the numbers that you name and sort of, immediately what happens, the voter turnout, the overall voter turnout percentage keeps rising on you. Keeps rising, keeps rising, keeps rising. Because you are stuffing things that are not there. You are giving somebody numbers that was not voted.
So atola agent
Then
fatola agent sul matola detail diala mi yalan ko
agent
atola
don't
itali.
disappear. Agent don't disappear. Kula karajan nyimbe buga fot. Kula karajan. Pilgrim was a crime scene. Nyanja mbugala fa sometimes mfola mbugala fika futa dadot. Because I can find it back. You understand? It was not a one-sided job. You can family.
Okay, man.
The day that number got announced, you can ask Dr. Lion Money. We requested 3 times. They refused. Because the day that they revealed that number, even more I would have inna lillahi. Ndola Newton, how much? Because that's why you get a 90% voter turnout. Benin, they elected a 49-year-old. Go look at their percentage. Check. You know how much they got? Voter turnout. 56%. Senegal, Jomai Faye you know how contentious that election was. That was tougher than ours. They killed 87 people of their positive people. 87 of Faraje more can say any war wala for the positive. Wala ka refero duran doltade. Well 60% masor. Voter turnout. Wala mena voter turnout ni mo 100 carte soto. Mo jele finde kara carte fay. Ka fu yew yo da ay 70 80 marek alko masi boket. So ndolta 90%. Which means and some places Kian West Arabia are 92%. Which means 92% people many countries be in the country when you come kalanton the caring. No sane democracy. Iko mo la wala Mugabe nyalo democracy nyol ni fenganyol Hosni Mubarak nyol mo obianyol kan nyama di number mo 90% wala ka danto la jam besiri mbaji be ka gambe karana intellectual men da nafi ko besiri be de tek we want to talk about it every time ngako maga no ba lo that has always been my holy grail. The 90% voter turnout is 100% 110% fraudulent. Yeah, funny. The number of stuff, number of realistic. So to make these numbers the voter turnout starts rising because you are giving Ibrahim Sonko what doesn't belong to Ibrahim Sonko. That wasn't voted. Ibrahim 1,000 yake 3,000. Immediately the voter turnout. It's simple statistics. The more votes you give to somebody that was not actually in the voter roll, yes, you'll ask the right question. Yes, you come and agent Mamada. So don't get called a room agent of la Fune Fari. So go so go we hear results, we call agent telephone far. Do you know who was paying those agents? Who was there? Who was the responsible of those agents? Do you know in the party? Yeah, then come far. Do you know who? Do you know
Suggest you want to say National Organizing Secretary.
Organizing Secretary ani Deputy Ibrahim Diba. Ani kara façon. Dole responsible kan agent do ki identify ke joko dola. Ike ko la mbesere njila man kan nyala de. Telephone e fari. Ba wana ko la bagasi pake besere tare la suko. Kada fa lo suto. One e besere. Ibrahim Diba fi ka xamul ko ha. Al se yambudi la la lo jere Switzerland aka ba la bunda balaji. How sure are you? 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. More be figure out what's happening. You are that the president like I said. Say, who are you? What do you know? You couldn't wait until in the morning to figure out what happened. You didn't have the brains to go and figure out what the hell is happening. Yankubada was IEC at that time, any more sir. Well, na election day, anytime they announced, they said signed by Demba Sabali, aning Dumalo Kote, we call it Tofoje, aning Alkali Conte. So Alkali Conte, Demba Sabali, something like that. You never hear UDP sign because whatever youngster and the chairman, no agent to make IEC reporting agent, okay, can I fence anja. All this is bogus. Boil with the COVID IEC Malala. But also calm down. We knew it was wrong. But you came out and stood there. I'll say a mutal around 2 a.m. You are the one responsible. You paid the agents. You give them their money. Job. So you want me to give him my party again? You? Well, I don't. You don't know what's happening. I don't make here no. I can't not pay them up to coma. I was preventing a lot of things. Ngamembe for Sidiqi singa kanya ni mo jetang nga 90% to coma. But say mantra jagan sim fono. Ta ni be party ko ngani fono no party be tela lu. Ngani me fo jambi. You cannot handle that simple responsibility. For my agents to give my goddamn papers. Listen, 1 week. We send them to go across the country to go get our documents from our agent. Because without this document, we cannot verify anything. I see agent show me my number so I can compare with what IEC said. Then make a decision. They born 1 week in Besate Karobela.
And boy, that's a serious allegation. You realize that, right?
I'm just saying. I'm not making an allegation.
Yes. That Talib Ning Ibrahim Adiba Ning Karafa Sonko were responsible for.
No. What I'm saying.
No. Let me finish the question, honey. You're saying it's their responsibility to make sure that your agents are being taken care of and that they are present. Yes, they do their job, and then they did not. So their responsibility falls squarely. Yes.
And it wasn't done clearly. Okay. And they are forced to go and congratulate Barrow. Who was the first to congratulate Barrow? Who? Did I? Did Yakuba? Did Usenu?
No.
Who did?
No. Talib?
The National Organizing Secretary is responsible for the agents that we cannot find. Most of them. I'm not for bid, but Jamala Yeman. We have to run around the country to go get our documents. So
if
you are going to argue against IEC, what are you showing? You have nothing to show. We dropped the ball. So those some people will look like a party dealer. So this is deeper than you guys thought. I know you're gonna be in headline on the phone, but this is what happened. It's really.
Oh, you know that. The media houses are going to run with this. This is what they like. Not so much about me because
no. Don't look. Yes. I don't do this trivial. This is just real.
That's what I'm saying.
But
that's what I also like about you too.
What I'm saying here is simple. If you are in America, because you and I came from a world of responsibility. I left at age of 18, 19. Long responsibility. I have no excuses to my bosses. I worked at Dell. I worked at all these weird companies. Finally, you understand, aerospace, Dell, Boeing, whatever. You understand? Responsibility. I don't give excuses. My companies don't take excuses. If you are given this kind of task in America, election day, you drop this kind of ball in the Democratic Party, you will never be their national organizing secretary again. You know that. This kind of a big ball, you drop this, is over. I don't care what you say, nobody's going to listen to you. You tried it, we gave you the opportunity, you drop the ball. You got to get out. There's no way around it. You know what I'm talking about. That's the world you live in America. Nobody's going to excuse this kind of failure on your behalf in your company. Nobody. That's a colossal failure. But here, because we live in a mediocre world in Gambia, everything is just mediocre. Everything. We accept everything. I'm not like that. Well, I don't fit in certain situations, certain leadership, but you know, I don't even get involved. You see me stay away, honey, you know, I don't want to go into certain, but like I try to stay away because I cannot fit in.
Sorry.
We are not people of responsibility here. It's all about excuses. And then you know, I don't deal back. I just do my thing. That's it. I cannot do it.
Well, Allah Molu, that because it's been a while since what happened that. Why haven't you guys been firing that enough? You know, in terms of, because I think that's important. Responsibility is bestowed on individuals. Me Alonko, they sort of it seems to me from what you're saying, they've abdicated that responsibility. You get what I'm saying? So you guys, with all this politics happening, you know, UMC is now your rival political, you know, whatever. However you look at them, they're rivals now. Opposition
They're the
movement in the
political party.
country.
They're
Yeah,
movement.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you guys are not hammering that. I mean, the fact that the
Like,
exact point that you mentioned.
look. It's not my interest to go after these people. They, like I said, the reason why I'm getting for fun,
Ah,
I know these people. I know their capacity. I'm not worried about these people. I gave them this opportunity. I dropped it. Okay, I don't expect anything better than from them again. From a political point of view, they can do better in their life in other parts of the world and in business and everything. But this, what we're dealing with, yeah, jam futare level of yeah, you kale. Found like
ah,
it. I started with IEC.
I see. Yeah.
Let them and how to call it? What do you call it? Let them
No, you just
publish
let it. Yeah, yeah.
the polling stations and numbers and compare. If we had done our jobs right, well,
Mhm.
but come the majority. That's what happened. Okay, but wala nang kweko, nilo mena abon more witnesses, not agents, not IEC agents, not no, but regular people. Many years, because I was in Masembe, I witnessed the Masembe one. It took them, well, there was a commotion there, but behind the commotion, behind the Fabunya no Nyamati and Fonte, it's a simple process. Abanda, Keso Samana, they verify the type from the Keso or Julo Fonte, Akuntu, ya way. Mule Mbela Kurute, Mbea Kuru, ya way, ya Conti. So continue kono jalam. Understand? Yeah, tough thing. Yeah, 10, you know, 500, 200, more beta within 10, 15 minutes, the whole country should be done. And this is another factor I need to put there, okay? We have 1,555 polling stations, right, across the country, okay? At 5 o'clock, polling stops,
Pulling
official.
closes. Yes.
But they
Mhm.
5. But they saying we give them time to wrap up, maybe last 5 people, not to get them until 12 a.m.
Mhm.
So by 5, you give them 30 minutes maybe or 1 hour to wrap up. So by 6, you wrap up, you get all your, boxes, everything, right? Then you count in 30 minutes. Each polling station is counting at the same time. We are not waiting on another polling station to finish. No, we are counting simultaneously 1,555 at the same time. Simultaneous, right? You start counting at, let's say 5, you stop at 5. You gave them 1 hour to finish up all they have to do, line or clear, blah, blah, blah. Another 30 minutes to count. By what? By 6:30, you should be finishing your counting across the goddamn country, right? Am I right? Are you following me here?
Yes, I'm following.
Then
I'm
why the
following.
hell, why the hell am I sitting until 3 goddamn a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning for you to announce Janjambure?
Yeah.
And I sit down again and wait for another 3 hours for you to announce Jara West. I sit again and wait for another goddamn 4 hours for you to announce Rekundara West. Why? Something that takes 30 minutes to count. Simultaneously, you're not waiting on another person to finish. No, we are all counting at the same time. By 7:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, by dinner time, I should know who's my president. There's no excuse. on us as a party or UDP or IEC. Zero excuse. Nimbe kela moti. What excuse do you have? Tell me. What is holding up? 7
Well, I
o'clock.
think those are legitimate questions, except for places that are
You close at
overpopulated, for
6.
example.
You close at 5. I give you a leeway, 30 minutes. That's not enough for you to close. I'll give you another 30 minutes. Are you okay with that? 1 hour? You can't wrap your shit up in 1 hour? Okay, you do. Fine. Sign. 6 o'clock. Sign. I give you keso ka boy. Ya boy. Ya boy korang kes kilim fla band. Ya konti. 5, 10, 15 minutes control band. 7 o'clock. Banko Bay. Nyanda Kalon, who's your president? Sign, don't see 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. First one. Pass hamo. Tilibulo. That's mediocrity. That's foolishness, yapatness on all Gambians. Political party, MP, UDP, IEC, big. You cannot give me one single excuse. I can let you here speak for another 5 minutes. You cannot give me one legitimate excuse why I should not know my results by 7 o'clock or 8 p.m. You call me a barometer. Billahi wallahi. Tallahi. When for Gamelon, I'll see. Allah karti along 7 o'clock. The mala person the baro buela. Ya jibesila ja tuole ma besila. E ko kete kasila for 5 o'clock a.m. Ketela. What are they doing? What numbers are they crunching? There's nothing to crunch. It's counted. Ika bonne keso yake ya take tamejija. For keso ya be kon tafta. Country TJ. There's no tabulation. There's nothing. How much do you have, Ibrahim? Okay. Parere Johnson, somebody Johnson, Aban, Bricamo no fella, Aban. 7 o'clock, Bricamo announcer, Simon Keta, Mole Sino. You go to bed, know who is your president. I like to number Mambo in Fenyo. But anytime it's a jang, this is a 12, 1, Suto, Imal Mela Person, Ibuetan, Baro Ganyeta. Simple. So if anybody cannot ensure this,
Buba,
if any party cannot ensure this, you've lost the elections.
On the final issue is the invaluable role that agents could play, Buba. Is that because clearly other agents were self-destructive. There is no other way around it. And those who were responsible for them, all from the mirror. So like what should be the role of agents? Because if not all the agents will make a at the end of the day, it becomes cool.
Yeah, no, it's simple. Because what I'm telling you, this 7 o'clock it can only happen by agents.
Exactly. Yeah.
This 7 o'clock thing. And if you know your 2016, where were you in 2016? Yeah. 2016, 7 o'clock. Now people they cross the border. What do you internet close down? There cannot be any WhatsApp calls. 7 o'clock. Little after 7, more cross in Senegal. You Pandere command. Maybe sitting. Pandere Damala was the only source. Everybody was tense. Maybe sitting. Moboka Femkono, WhatsApp Bukata Fembukata. 7 will out of Alambulda. Na diaspora na coalition of Bolta in Senegal, Mali, Tada Silad Mala. If the Senegal is Sim Karota, a Pandere command, a result of winter. When Pandere Alon to win the Janning, even the final results came. After being Giati Banas, the Giati Lakmasin, Jana, Fonia, Jana, Param. Ha, but Janjambure turning to Fonia, Kumbora, Bria Combo Rip, Bricamaco Pump, Fajikundako, understand. Busumbalo, the fat, cool change that. But we knew. So the coalition did their homework. Whatever they got going on in the organization was top notch. They didn't have to wait until 5 a.m. in the morning to know. You think you're going to sit here in that darkness? I may be killing Tombo. So they tough. So when they know the results, I couldn't do anything with the results. And I'll give you an example. BAC, this election, we learn our lessons. By 9 o'clock, 9 p.m., from Kalaji, you know Kalaji, right? From Kalaji to Bijilo. Yes. From Kalaji to Bijilo, by 9 o'clock every single polling station na Kaito ay entaramin dole Brikama bureau yank da fo atafo bulu kala enta amang atafo nyara ka diatal atafo ka si computer na enta so by 9 we knew we won namul finda banda police ko go na manta si ndol winter na deta alta fo ay seko ndol hajidi mbije rek ela kenana amajina na taraje ay mol hawk I congratulate for victory mbije another candidate also came I cannot remember the name afana ay mol hawk by 9 we are done with these people. Finish by reka si jang reka carte ni banko message ni même fancy cela fait 16 million people by 8 o'clock they are ready. What are you counting, Aluma Manjai? I see. What? It's not like in the 90s. In the 90s, you know what they used to do, right? Before 2016. Ika keso sigale kisamba fungo na regional centers. You know, like come here. Let's say Kian can mola kama side kodi. You see how that fight shit is? Okay.
Yeah.
Nia kondilanje ika keso bono ya saba masa kongo. Mola yo yakana fo.
I think they used to take it at Gambia College or something. I remember a little bit about that.
So what more like kenu? So imagine it about Kian Canada, more like a million. So near Kesa Modoco, a cover agent, I'll tam it, I'll tell for some motor. Agent of Gadu. So I see that an impoliso, you put a Morocco, Tamasco. So Janis for Masco, I read an answer. No, never seen in Jarrell, 1990, Famala Catafa. Mr. Nj, Jara, Kiana Dunham. Casaman for a follow. Yeah, announce. But in there's no social media. I cannot go anywhere. I'm missing them. What about Observer? That's it. There's no you see would fake what well. Ellen didn't be album. So agent Keso Kabanang Gulu for Jana for the Masako. Puria Conte. Well, I announced already seated. You make a Bahu Kanjan. Yimbanko Kanjan. Never move for Nka Bill for Mfama back. Kuria Yan Banku Kuro again, Gambian Banku Kuro. Well, I love that mistake. Marabeka Mola. Sangi tawar banku hanan sabe kala yar hansa murnu koma nen because kuriala jam ala mala kuriala ala mala fal abe busala by force kamul kumbonde kamul tora kasake abe fania look at this country sa banku ding tumi han tumi na amasi hadina kuram make non fay Senegal ka bana on kat for like look at this because we have always been dealt with the wrong hand. Ask your people, live for like Keba Ninka. What about the carton? Put all of the brigam. Okay, what was Lada carry? You do much little Purumpara in Gibegi Level, Naga Samaka would have finished. Yellow. I got a part of Soja Money, I be so and so return a hajula. You know, clear your doing your young, you repeat your fajana. Abanta. If I your country about Kajaban, well, I would rather jam. Who's gonna talk? Ni pare da ba usere mu da ares fola hankata e ba juara mu da jana fulo e kari mu da wasa jana bu sajana fulo mo be de kanta na ñoy ni ba ha UDP boytel ha mbere ñadi ñina boyel kese ba kian kranda ba yana fara masa ko so yara pare do bal kabiri ha da ala ndola sekunda ndola jara fon ko te mol atudum fa mol de biri keso ko fon ko to man do yare e keso ka moto kono molni motorcycle le fay keso no ma ha kanko be tila kata masako kon to dinu atala siso kono ke kan nim fangole ni murbal ka keso no murbal de ado you have never seen that you just keep hearing politic wallahi na mano jañala fangol le kam molni motorcycle ni fon ka aysi la moto bayndi ndolo sikundalo pakalilo fangore kanko be tila kata fo masako because ibe nyaala iba yele bele koto. This is how elections were. So you never seen it. If I'm going to UDP, yeah, they're messaging. They have to talk to people. I beg Kalanta. There's no messaging here. Sunyaro kola, fentije. Tous. Mukane nene kapuka fengete. You know. Marketable. Kirikrat. I beg Kalanta here. Nobody. Musa Janyol ni ko ke dadi an wolte mo dañu fole
You never hear Musa Jeng wala ñing ko rek tele civil kany mo sifa ko dal ita jele ka fo ndu yalo na ketel to la kawru lo ko jana wala fe jala halake dan ndola masa ko gata but you never hear them talk about this yi de fe tak kuriya be nyabe kasala ina kan campagne ko rek la ko they see all these irregularities yi de tak bala be si America bala caractère wala je ali yalla démocratie nation son America ali ay njoje kut ni ngambela caractère ali kenyi mo kalanta sisfal albe kumo be dabal at least you say these things, say it to the people, young people. You say why limo don't happen. Be honest. Say it. But you'll never say it. All you gotta do how win it 5 times. Wow, nothing will win it. In this kind of condition? Who can win in this kind of condition? But you should know better. You never talk about it. You
come.
Platform
I mean, today you just came all gone blazing.
I don't care.
You're taking no prisoners today.
Wala bijem. Ndeke tolo. Kandi kata jani bebe jin kalanta diamo jai. Be platform be diamo ha. Yeah, you know, analysis you analyze. Wow. You know, 5 times. 5 times that. Under what condition? Why don't you also go there and examine what happened? Tell these young kids. Tell them what the conditions were in those days. On the spot, and the bill and more for the B. Bill or Kofoja. Ya count on the spot. Ya Jamilo Summer in 2016. Molbi Yamel Baluta Gambia, Kabiri Dinima, for a Sangi Talusor in a man on the spot county Yala. Kabiri Jora Jamano. Keso Kata. Ya Jaman Strip Diva. Jara Strip Diva. Keso Kata. Keso. Akayala Manya Malo. You better go ha winter. You know, Bijan, Korea.
Buba, we gotta leave it here. We have to leave it here, Buba. It's been over 2 hours. We can go on.
Interview correct. Bablu was saying, like you're saying. Wala interview ko for say because inte you so for the time from because ding banko la problem wala for la sambo war billahi wala la
yeah, but at least I think
among consent ngay men do yalla ndila ko men ka dia nse mbe foja moto wule ko kandela jabi jan sama ko kandela ko fanande mu nana e bikake bu ko te mantra mo nyaan la ja ko am man tan fana fogo because on media men ka dan ko la foy but if some of these things na fota nyama, it's gonna kill some narratives. Abinu TRC la be dokolon TRC nta mari to fola. Ako file na naraje, file na naraje. File but I generally NIA was a report, sort of a file from NIA about some of these things that were happening. Nda bo to fola be dokola window finka ke balbe TRC mene ko file to futal TRC ate file to ate kelo komi like it a treat la komi nyaka treat nyami memba kono from NIA ika membe tamande ka refer du nyaka ko ka membe labaj ko NIA are integral in any election fraud in this country hani bi ibakan hani bi ako file boraje ye bang ay sila kuntiole bang ndam kundi en to fala bala bijel ako kaydo interfendila ko fala ni manna pour mo a dealer public yalla même bije because ñe ko lu melna the narrative that has been held by this country for 30 something years that UDP te window la tenenten abole burkana the biggest threat to somebody's kota kill down wala ka fa ko UDP ga gagner wallahi that's their biggest fear psychologically and to be brain was a code dunde mena win because that's the first thing they say win. But then you break that idiot go. Can you explain to me how things were going? Fully. If they did attack, they act like everything was just nice and peaceful on the spot. Guys, you know, for them coming, you know, Abia. Fendeket 2016 na barang 2016 directly ngamuso on the spot counting was only yaji ngwet. By 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we know yaji ngwet. bari mo boren kasi jang ite ko tem political party ite ko ay sila badu fo talan saba talan lulu somanda pite alo kesi men janta konti la 7 ko wularo ite mo continue ite bulo candidate fo bulo bakita fo be sitting like it's like what exactly are you doing? So you are sitting at that polling station for 7 o'clock. It's similar to yella for fun of the world. It control answer. Who are you counting with? In my controller. In you know, can the most say what I like. More. One say what I like 7 o'clock what I like. We didn't do a control again. Who are you counting with until 4 in the morning? Janjambure. Never Janjambure at 12 o'clock. Yara was Talana and Sudo. Who the fuck? Who was counting Ibrahim? Tell me. He didn't know a controller. Arambaro. Anima Manjai. He come in a Quran, he could run over at 5 o'clock. Crano, he can't read. He come in a read. They can tell me that you put a seat, Talanda, someone like Crano reading Yalaji. Did I pay you for that? No, I'm not paying you for that. I prepared you for 5 years, paid you millions of dollars to know my result by 7. I don't need you to be sitting out there acting holy. Gamero jana idea ya kali follow. Ko ali kalo non ali gamero jani be wuliya follow rek ya ala fay je follow. Because they use Allah as a guide, as a shield. Ni ala fay rek am follow. Ndey jang ndey da so operate ya. Ni be besu la fanketan. Illumine iko billahi wala ta non ndeket ma ko bulaje. Ni be ala mara ka fay boy. Come after yo come jena. Ndeket bulal. Because you are trying to use Allah pour kante sidir kante pengu anen drogola kante ndefande. Jang abedula rek iba commencer la tabay muto la ñana na fi ku fi dum su as meñana suñaro siade wala hafta ni wonote
Ani wa kam dal they start invoking ya Quran dan invoke je follow they dan
fay je follow you Quran look yalo is psychology they know the Gambian people yeah look at ya Jammeh bira yalo ko commencer rek ay fa hafta ko commencer hafta ko yo anen doko ba muto because he studied the psychology of the people. Abegele brim paro kasi jawra ka fa jawra ko fontele jawra mu jinoli jawra keta ten fa ko mer wod ndoketa odu mata man fesino odu mo nyina ka fono. So when he came he continued that same path afanke jam mo murban. So they use this religion. So ite aluma manjay I'm paying you for all this money to announce my result by 7. You are sitting there reading the Quran at 4 a.m. I don't know who's my president. What are you doing? Who's counting this? Afanyeba. Nte buka understand. I'll be la simple question. You didn't do a control at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
But maybe sitting Bella Morola. Yeah, you know, Bella Morola. Come on, so my philosophy with this election is very simple. I tell every Gambian, until 7 o'clock, until my family, I'm down. I'm done. I'm finished. 7 o'clock, any party mail a result by 7. Maf IEC announced by the party as an internal institution. You cannot figure your shit out by 7 o'clock. You are not worthy of being a party. And I'm done with it. 2020 no excuse because Lunda Manadon Jang I just came 1 month category that Mankula Faham back. I cannot really understand. But this time around, just like Yankuba Wala K Berkamera Council from Kalaji to Bijilo, it's almost half of the Gambia. By 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we go all our documents. You have zero excuse. It's doable, it can be done with the right people. So that's your problem. I cannot help that. My politics stops at campaigning, giving money and doing things. I cannot take this boy, this thing tell me on the phone. I cannot.
Anyway, Buba, already thinking about it, there are so many parts of this interview me and Uncle is going to make rounds on Gambian social media today. Mande for listen. Mande for is Gambian media. I'm telling you. You know, even Tonya can. But anyways, Buba, thank you.
ala ñu clip kundu wala ko pro ñaka ñi même man tara Gambia man feke do ta ko mal, okay?
I'm telling you, it's not even gonna be me. It's mostly gonna be people. They just be using my content for free. But Bugaji ko yala Facebook closed it, so at least that way we are safe because he's one person. Me alanko he's the first to always.
That kid is an idiot, man. Ala share ala ñu VM ñol dem dindin kalanta wala ndu wala karama buñ boya ko na mana mbala yalla ndega manke bela ndege bela fanke, you know what they call, I don't know, hide or something like that. I don't see their feet. Just like I did to your ass. More like if I'm now bela fanke so mbuka fenge. Ndela sari wala nge mal block. I don't block you, but I hide. Because no so link kirkara bo ndef ga dunje.
No, but you have to welcome the divergent views too. But yeah, you have to also be accepting of other people's views. The thing about I think
no. Look, Ibrahim, yes. I'm very accepting. You know that. But what I'm saying,
yes, I do.
No mental stress.
That's true. That's fair.
No blood pressure. I have to watch out. Jambe wala de si jang stress.
But yeah, ni yenn mu ñoo soté balaje dorong o fana me cool fisen la do man ninke
no kala ko bi yalo ela ka be jakana ela ka say is going to territory me alon ko ma
no
ela fa nge boy ko la ko nge ci jar bu de ci islam fana ko de ka ñen ke jara am
wait jaw fo jaw ya tale say ko tel tutaje so there's a public call for me to ask you that. So you can you need to call me and let me know what happened. You need to explain the story. I don't know how they trapped. There is no story, bro. He just fell in love. You need to find a cook.
Who is this Henry Mendy guy? Oh, you make a fake profile. Henry Mendy. It looks like a fake profile.
What? He really likes you?
Yeah. But anyway, that's my thing about. I don't know if I answered your credibility issue.
Oh, you absolutely.
I see.
Yes.
We requested things from them. They are not forthcoming. There's so many things. So I cannot sit here. So I have to be alert, understand, and be as attentive as I can, and then party of an mechanisms all put in place to make sure we are free from ISIL tyranny. The Katina fighter, until internal data, Mitani Walla. Internal data me from Walia, Nimbueta, Salam. But Nako winter fana. Until I'm collect, you control most of it. Wala dia. Well, even Wurula, winter by Fender Block. We are very sure. But if we have correct document, ICMS and be tablet. Otherwise. So while we do that, we by 7 o'clock everybody know until 9 o'clock. Simo Busela, is either President Barrow representative, wala ANM Senu Numukunda Irving Davo President. This is it.
Uncle was so it. I know.
Anyway,
Kacha
simple.
Kacha
do with 16 million people. 16 million people. Instead of 18 now.
Your point is noted. America doing you can jump for serious they have a lot bigger population are able to do it within a very short period of time. Gambia should not be a problem. Anyway, even my voice is been really horrible. Call for them, boy. No, me call them. Ndara kada dam for la. Tuto wolum.
Nakaza, fango. Sinja solo dem batiyo la mala.
Batiyo ni sinja. La ndara suda football la sama.
Sa ndako la bitan. Ala ñu lobitan ko de. ni medical check up body fall dan kirikira body mo every year samba jana boy ben ko la jana ita jana e balo be chuku musul be fenkele tan ko no sa inte I don't do all that I just drink my kinkliba jamba kataw ha sulo lo milma
ba mo nyini mimbela kinkliba fa jin later on.
Mendy, I'm just kidding, man. Mendy was long. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Thank you so much. Please, yes, let them more unblock. Kakala more block. No,
I have to block those people. Mark,
I couldn't Mark from what you are host. Mark, I'm not worried. Who are alone? Internet is song and be host. For him, parade.
No.
Because
Guys, man, they just keep sitting here. I can't be more for be live killing you. I didn't even see what.
But the thing about you is, I think you can take it, and that's the most important
thing. No, I don't
thing.
see it. I just, I so I don't really see it.
But you give a lot, you back a lot, but you can also take it. I think that's the good thing. Like you put yourself out there, you have a lot of opinions, and so people also come after you, and you take it. You take them at least.
They don't come after me.
Yeah, Mark and I'm boy.
No, you can life can do life. You call it for the life. All kinds of. I'm like, what? Just because I go for the talent, and I don't go for the talent. I go for the concept of what the people represent. Like the ideas behind what they're trying to do, the ideology, not about the person.
Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you all to our audience. A lot of people were watching on YouTube and also on Facebook. It's hard to keep up. But we appreciate all of you for being here. Allah baraka babaka, man. Thank you, Buba, once again. Thank you once again.